issues, women and children, and so much more. Now, it's crucial to approach these subjects with empathy and understanding. These issues often intertwine with societal norms and can lead to tough conversations. It is important to create a safe space for dialogue where individuals can share their experiences without fear or judgment. I am Jumai Manson. Join me every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the program Inside Today on Global Television. What comes to mind when you hear co-parenting? Well, come closer. Co-parenting is when two parents work together to raise their child or children, even though they are no longer in a romantic relationship, marriage, or living together. Now, this focuses on putting the child's or children's needs first, sharing responsibilities and decisions, communicating respectively, keeping routines and rules consistent. Now, the goal of co-parenting is to give the child a stable, supportive environment where they feel loved and secure by both parents. Hello and welcome to Inside Today. I am Jumai Manson. I am being joined by an amazing personality. She is Dr. Precious Chikwendu, CEO, Whitehall Priming and Whitehall Early Years. Do not go anywhere. The program continues shortly. Stay tuned. All right, you're welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Inside Today on Global Television. And we'll be looking at the dynamics, general issue when it comes to co-parenting. Like I mentioned before, I am being joined by Dr. Precious Chikwendu. She is the CEO, Whitehall Priming and Whitehall Early Years. You are welcome to Inside Today.
Thank you.
Now, what is meant, or what do you understand? I know I gave the preamble of co-parenting. What does it entail? What does it really mean?
Well, co-parenting is just two parents who are no longer together, who do not see a possibility of being together, or might see a possibility but decide to focus on what's good for the child, which is both parents coming together to make sure the child gets the best of all the child needs for growth.
Now, looking at what the child needs for growth and all of that, who are usually involved in co-parenting arrangement? I know both parents have to agree, but do they have external factors that, okay, come to a table, you're not married, you're not in a romantic relationship. What are the important factors that are encouraged in all of this? Okay,
so most times, if it is a peaceful separation, both parents come to that agreement. But if it's messy and quite loud, as some of us had in the past, some courts will come in between and sit and make a decision as to how the parents take care of the kids, which could be co-parenting as well.
I know you mentioned that, that's Dr. Precious now, you mentioned and you said two parents coming together. But what if it's a situation where you cannot stand the partner? Isn't it hard? And in Nigeria, we don't really talk about it because, you know, we feel the man should, he has more, the man, you know, he's the provider, security and all of that. But when when monies are involved, when school, taking care, and you cannot stand each other, can co-parenting really work?
Okay, when asked, I usually ask you, do you want me to be honest or do you want me to be modest? Which of the two?
I think both will suffice.
Okay, so in all honesty, I think it's a general agreement between the two, because you need to get to the point where you realize that the union is over. and what really matters is the children or the child involved. So at that point, you have to drop your ego, you have to drop your nose that is stuck up in the cloud, you have to try and figure out what exactly that child would be needing, and you sit and agree. Now, it comes with a lot. It comes with boundaries. It comes with agreeing to disagree, lots of compromises. It comes with so many inconveniences you could think of, because at some point one person has to let go a lot to ensure that the kids are fine. Especially in cases where it's more than a child involved, there's a whole lot of compromise to be made.
But looking at it critically, do you think in Nigeria we actually follow co-parental, the rules that are guided when it comes to co-parent? I feel we're not even informed when it comes to things like this. We just feel, okay, the child belongs to the dad, the child belongs to the mom. Let's just leave it at that, and forgetting about the peace that comes with it, the children's well-being that comes with it. Sometimes I feel we forget that. We're not well informed about what co-parenting is all about.
So I would say that comes with lots of ego. Mostly the men, I don't like blaming, I don't like the blame game, but if I would say it as it is, the man feels, okay, I'm the provider, so she has to do the rest of the work. I don't have to show up at school programs, the mom has to go do the school programs. I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that, and I have to order her around and tell her how she has to do the business, because they are my kids. Now, it is not supposed to be that way. I think both parents, I know both parents should be in the life of their child.
True.
It is not a matter of who goes for the PTA meeting, who goes for the school programs, who pays this and who pays that. Both parents have to show up, because already the kids have a divided mind.
Yes, they do. At
some point, they know that saying this is going to hurt daddy, saying this is going to hurt mommy. They are in between, they're in the middle, they are torn between two parents. So the decision is really very difficult. Now, in some cases, you might see some of the kids who have an early emotional intelligence trying to play things down. Like daddy might say nasty things about mommy, and you see the child with emotional intelligence trying to water it down so that he doesn't trigger or piss mommy off. Now, if mommy is also a smart person, she will definitely understand that this child speaking has picked up these words from somewhere. So clearly she already knows where that is coming from. So that child now stays in the middle, sometimes not even mindful of speaking, can't even say or express themselves, because they do not want, they feel like walking on eggshells or a mindset where if you say anything, things could trigger. Mommy could take whatever that he said and it's a fight, it's a quarrel, it's something. So you see, the kids begin to compress themselves, putting a lot in their heads. They can't express themselves. They become so distant and quiet. A suppressed version of themselves. Now, if you have a child who's naturally very lively, speaks, expresses themselves, that child becomes so suppressed, so quiet. You can't even figure out what's going on in their mind. You can't get them to play and be real as they normally would. So this is a heavy task on that child. You're teaching the child to compact things in his head, try and live with a whole lot of things in his head without being able to express himself or live for his age. Because at that age, that child is meant to play, feel free, express themselves, explain themselves in the best way they could. But if this situation arises, that child becomes a mature child overnight and starts keeping things in their head, in their mind. Then you see them discussing with friends. Friends are now the ones advising them as to how they should behave. They're torn between their parents, their friends, or their mindset. So this is a whole lot to deal with. Now, the best things the parents can do is to make sure they make this life very easy for the parents. For the child, you both show up. For PTAs, for school programs, there's no discrimination of who should do what. What's the man's task, what's the woman's task, as long as the child is involved. Because in court, they'll tell you what's in the best interest of the child. And what's in the best interest of the child is that that child sees both parents looking normal as they should look if they were one big happy family.
Well, looking at that particular picture now, how does it affect the child in all of this? Like it's really difficult. Like you said a lot, when the child has to walk on eggshells, he has to be sure that, okay, I don't offend mommy, I don't offend daddy, I have to be in the middle. And sometimes, and we're looking at the aspect of sometimes the child has to be in daddy's place, and the daddy is teaching the child the best way he understands how to cope, how to parent, and then be in mommy's place. it's just one-sided. How does it affect the child psychologically in all of
It
this?
does affect the child in so many ways you can think of. That child has a struggling mind, because at that point that child is struggling to either listen to mommy or struggling to listen to daddy. Now, it is always wise that both parents are on a united front, because if you are saying something nasty about the father to the child is hearing something nasty from the mother about the father, you are pushing the child to a path where the child becomes very rebellious,
Exactly.
because the child definitely doesn't know which side to stand on. Now, in most cases, the kids might live with the mom. I have a different situation. My kids live with their dad. And in that situation, I show up in the best ways I can show up. I do the best every mother would do. Everything, school, everything, forefront. Now, that's because I realize that this is a very tender age for these kids. I had the best growing up with both parents. My parents were very involved, very active. There was nothing I needed for school I didn't get. There was nothing both parents would do that I would say I didn't have. Now, for me, it's a priority that the children have even more than I had. In terms of presence, not in terms of spoiling them, but in terms of attention, presence, being the best, showing up,
Very
being
important.
there when it matters. Because I have kids that, there's a day I came in late for a program for my son, and he goes, "Mama, I felt betrayed. You didn't show up on
Kids
time."
are so dramatic. Oh,
yeah,
please.
but these things mean a whole lot to them.
Yes, it does.
Having a presentation and you're not seeing your dad or mom, that kills their spirit. My kids
morale.
literally look up to see if I am at the stage watching, and there's this extra smile. There's this, some of them will give me a thumbs up. Yeah, they know you're there. It makes everything beautiful. Like, these are memories kids live it. I'll tell you, my best memories to date are the memories of the activities I had with my late dad. I'll tell you everything, how it pushed me, the kind of words my dad said to me, mostly in Proverbs, I don't forget them. Now, the worst thing I would do is deny my children that. And that's what every parent should think about. If you grew up in a balanced home, you should also think about not destroying the balance of your own child.
Very important.
So it's very important, whether father, whether mother, that at every stage you think about the fact that you have to balance it. There are things the father brings to the table, and there are things the mother brings to the table. That gives the child the balance.
Talking about what the things the father and mother bring to the table, let us talk about communication.
Okay.
Like I mentioned before in my preamble, what if you dread your partner?
We all...
You
I say we.
dread,
Let's just-
and then you just cannot be in the same room with this individual. Like, you are done. How can communication, for the sake of the children, because that's what you said, help in co-parenting?
So like I said,
You know it's hard, Precious.
it is hard. I've been there. I know what it felt like.
It's hard.
So, yeah, I know what it felt like. But the truth is, when you think about those kids, that's all that matters to you.
Yes.
Now, communication, what is it about? The kids.
Yeah.
That's why I said there are boundaries. I'm not going to be discussing my personal things or
No.
matters of the heart or no. It definitely has to do with the kids. So your whole conversation, whatever it is, borders around the kids. And that's what it is. And there are boundaries. There are things you wouldn't do. So having your own restrictions or things, reservations about the person or not being able to, it doesn't matter. Because at that point, what matters to you are the children involved. You need to put that aside. It's a very difficult thing to do.
Yes, it is.
Especially when emotions are involved or lots of water had gone under the bridge, so many fights, or it was a very, very dramatic or disastrous one, the separation. I mean, it is always wise that you think about the children involved.
For their sake.
For their sake. Now, a parent would literally take bullets for their kids. So if you haven't gotten to that stage where you can take bullets for your kids, then I don't think you know what you're doing parenting. Now, for that singular reason, you would literally, or would you have the kids in the middle? Would you have them screwed up in their mindset? Or you would rather bridge the gap and be in the middle and make sure the kids have the balance? That's what it's about. Most of the times I see people tell me, oh, you're back with your ex-husband, you're this. That's because when we have to unite to do stuff for the kids,
You do.
You do
Show
it.
up.
you literally will have no idea that we are not together. That's because The children are what's important. He shows up, I show up. It's a full family behavior. Everybody is happy. Everybody's there for whatever we came for. We put our best to make sure that whatever the event is about, it goes well, the children are happy, because those are the memories they are going to live with for the rest of their life. So why make it a very sad one? Why have only daddy show up and there's no mommy? That memory will live long. Mommy never showed up for anything, it was just daddy. Daddy never showed up for anything, it was just mommy. And when mommy showed up, it was all fights.
No.
Yeah, so these things are things you just keep in the basket somewhere. You keep it somewhere. When you're done with whatever makes that child happy, you too can continue whatever you think your fight is about.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, she said you can both continue with whatever it is you have, not fights or disagreements and all of that. You know what, let's go on a very quick break. And then when we come back, the program continues shortly. Dynamics of co-parenting. We're talking about everything in general. Insight Today continues. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Insight Today on Global Television, and we are looking at co-parenting, the dynamics in general. And I'm not doing it alone. I have Dr. Precious Chikwendu. She is the CEO, Whitehall Priming and Whitehall Early Years. She's with me live in the studio. Thank you so much, Dr. Precious, for being here. And we're looking at dynamics of co-parenting, everything in general, putting aside grudges, anger, and all of that. Now, let's talk about a situation whereby you have to share responsibilities. You mentioned that it doesn't matter whether the mom does this, the dad does this, but you have to come to a compromise.
Yeah.
So who does what, and you have to show up without any objections or without any excuses and all of that. So tell us, what are the responsibilities that come with it in co-parenting?
So it's all about agreement. Now, it depends on the size of the pocket of the father, but for me, mostly I would say the father actually takes the upper hand in the responsibilities. But if the mother is more settled than the father is, there's no harm. The fact is, it's about the kids. But in some cases, you see, when we call, or women say, deadbeat fathers, they have the money, they have the ability to ensure that the kids are well taken care of, but they'd rather have that elsewhere than give it to their kids. Now, that's where the issues arise. But normally, the father has to play his roles, like paying the fees of the kids, ensuring that the mother has a home where she has the kids with her, if it's a situation where the children are with the mom. He has to provide the shelter, provide the feeding allowances and all of that in that case. But if it has to do with a situation where the mother is more buoyant than the father, then the mother can provide these essential needs, because these are basic needs of life and they are necessities. They're not like frivolous spendings or things that has to do with fashion and style and all of that. No. The father can, to the best of his ability, give the children the quality of life he can afford. Now, so mostly the father. The mother is the caretaker. The mother is the present one. We do things like assignments. We do things like checking on whoever is around the child, like the workers, ensuring the kids show up to school, looking neat, well presented, doing the schoolwork, done mentally and physically sound. Now, all of that are the mother's responsibilities to do. And if the father is providing for those needs, then you have a balanced home, because I do not see why the child should actually feel the lack if both parents are putting in their quotas in both aspects.
But let's talk about consistency. How is it, or how easy is it for one to be consistent in all of these things, ensuring, especially, you could say there's consistency when you're both under the same umbrella. Well, both parents are not living together. She has her own life, he has his own life, but the main primary important individuals are the children. So is it possible that consistency can be key? Showing up when you have to show up, being there every single time. How possible is it?
It's a constant effort. You keep making that effort. It's your presence and it's your will to show up and do what you need to do that makes it possible. In my case, the dad will do the drop-off with his people in the morning. I do the pick-up after school. to make sure they are fine, do their assignments, respond to whatever notes I have from the teachers, send back their homeworks and make sure that, okay, it's done. A whole lot of work has to be put in. Now, that cuts into my working hours because I'm a working mom. I don't sit at home. But I make out time, knowing that, okay, pick-up time is 2, pick-up time is 1, pick-up time is 3 o'clock. Wherever I am at that point in time, I cancel to get my kids because it's a priority. Now, I wouldn't say that's a forever duty because kids will grow. They wouldn't remain babies for the rest of their life. So whilst this period of time is what we live in, I make sure I'm available. I keep my time open for that. Once I drop them off and I'm done with all the assignments and things I have to organize for them, back to work. I go back to becoming the boss I am at my workplace.
Yes,
so
you are.
it's all about balance. You just have to create a balance between your job, your personality, and the children. The truth is, these kids never forced you to bring them to this world.
It's very true.
No happy person would leave their home. That's what I want people to know, that if you're happy and you're comfortable in your space, you don't wake up overnight and decide to leave your home. Something prompted your leaving. Now, that should not be a punishment on innocent kids who never asked for you to bring them to this world. Now, if you have that in your mindset, then now you can use that to plan for these kids because they never begged you to come to this world. You brought them maybe out of love, out of excitement, out of your own decision, somehow, some way. You brought these kids into the world. Now they are here. What do? Do you leave them to face the horror of growing up by themselves? Do you leave them to deal with one parent being the only person? That's not a balance. You two came together to have them. So you two have to make that space, that chance, that opportunity for these kids to experience both parents growing up.
You know, I always say that, will I say Nigerians or Africans, we do not understand the worth or the ramification of co-parenting. We do not understand what it does for the child or the children, because most women will feel, oh, they're with their father, it's okay. Or the men will feel they are with their mom. When they grow up, they will look for me. But how does co-parenting benefit a child or children emotionally? How does it?
When you say in Nigeria, I'll tell you, we are sentimental beings in Nigeria. We're too sentimental. We do not look at the main issues. We look at how it affects us. That's the biggest problem we have. Now, in this equation, the issue is not me or the husband. The issue is the child. So you need to drop that aside. That child needs the balance. That balance is what gives you a sane child. I've seen kids that are screwed up from divorced parents. Their whole mindset is messed up.
Exactly.
Kids that are from separated parents are the most manipulative kids you will know. Why? Because most of them are used to, I get from mommy, I get from daddy. And if I want daddy to do ABCD for me, I just trick daddy and tell him something about mommy.
Exactly.
And he does it.
And true.
Oh yeah, I want to get from mommy, I just trick mommy and tell her, oh, I'm going to go to my daddy's house. I'm not happy here. And mommy has to do it. So if you're not careful with kids from a divided home, you'd get kids with screwed up minds who are entitled, who are selfish, who are manipulative, and would get everything anyhow they want to get it. Now, I wouldn't blame them because two adults put them in that situation.
Very true.
So the best you can do as a parent, if you understand that you do not want a child with a messed up mindset, is for the both of you to put aside your ego or whatever it is and you sit down and make sure that the children have a balanced growth and will grow the way you both decided before you brought up these kids. Because you do not let your new life or whatever it is you're chasing or whatever you feel you would get into afterwards, you don't let them be the factor that stands between yourself and kids who need the growth.
And that's where communication is very important.
Very important.
So quickly now, tell me, what are the challenges of co-parenting? It's not because you make it sound so easy that anyone out there who's going through this, hey, don't sweat, you can come together, come to a compromise, it doesn't matter, suck it in, come on. It's for the sake of the children. But there should be challenges though.
Lots of challenges.
What are they?
Well, that's when you have one partner who's stuck up in his thoughts or believes he's high above high and you must have to struggle to reach them. In simple situations that just requires two people sitting and talking and everything is fine. Or you have someone who doesn't believe in what you believe in. That's a difficult situation. And I see in some cases, two parents have like two different ways of bringing up kids. So your own ideology of how the child should be raised is different from my own ideology. It now becomes an argument. At some point, you see them argue, you see the parents not talk. It becomes difficult, but all of this rubs off on the child because the child is robbed of opportunities to do certain things. In some cases, you will see a father who says, okay, my child cannot go to this excursion and that excursion from the school. Now that's in cases where there's a strong dispute and the father feels like, okay, letting the child go for that excursion would make the mother happy. I don't want that. I just want to see her. I just want to see the mother sad. I want her to beg me. She needs to beg me. So he can't go for that excursion. Now that excursion is important to that child because that child is going to be learning from the excursion. But because the father wants to throw it in that I am the man, I call the shots. He says he can't go. And then you see the mom, oh, please let him go. It's important. He needs it. And the father is enjoying seeing the mother beg.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, looking at all of this in one word, why is it important when parents are separated? They should come together in a compromise to co-parent for the sake of the children?
It is important for the sake of that child's mental health, number one. Number two, I don't think I want to raise a child that doesn't listen, a child that is a problem and a menace to society. Now, that can happen easily if both parents are not able to come together to talk to a child, because that child doesn't listen to anybody, becomes wayward, and likes to live life on their own terms because they don't have parents who tell them what to do or unite to get them to grow together.
Well, Dr. Precious Chikwendu, CEO, Whitehall Priming and Whitehall Early Years, thank you so much for being a part of Insight today and throwing more light, your wheels of experience. I'm sure it's gone a long way to help individuals out there. Well, co-parenting is about cooperation, respect, and shared responsibility. When parents work together and focus on the child's well-being, they help create a stable, loving, and secure environment that supports the child's or children's growth and happiness. Thank you all so much for being a part of Insight today. Dr. Precious Chikwendu, CEO, Whitehall Priming and Whitehall Early Years. Thank you for being a part of Insight today. We learned a lot. And let's just say bye-bye together. And then from Dr. Precious and I, we are saying bye-bye.
Human angle topic on family, marriage, peer pressure,